welcome back to the Mel-Tran Designs podcast. I'm your host, Melissa, also known as Ananzi on Ravelry, and on Instagram, I'm Mel-Tran Designs. There's also a group on Ravelry under that name, as well as a Facebook page where you will get notified when a new episode comes up. So anyway, today is Friday, January 19th, 2018. I hope you've had a wonderful week. We've been kind of our normal amount of busy. So anyways, I do have a Quinn sitting right over there. So if you hear any background noise or like videos, she's watching her on a tablet for a little bit. So yep, she has it turned down, but it might carry over. I have had comments that my videos have been quiet lately. I'm not really sure why. I've been trying to talk louder and project into them. Maybe I can pull you a little closer. Anyway, it might just be my computer, but I'll do my best to try to keep my noise level up here, so that way you guys can hear me. I have show notes again this week, so I can be organized. Yeah, I got my hair done. Part of this side, it's actually getting better and fading a little bit. When she rinsed it, and then I first was kind of fixing it after she did it, some of the red, when she was taking all the foil off, Quinn, you need to turn that down a little bit, please. That's a little bit too loud. Some of the red bled onto the blonde, and it looked like I had washed my hair with raspberry jello. So anyways, she's like, yeah, that won't last. And it's done that a little bit before, but not to the degree that it did. So anyway, it's definitely better. So, but yeah, it's laying better than it was, and it's behaving. So anyway, and I did have somebody ask if I if I've decided to let it grow out. It's more that it had gotten shorter than I really wanted, and so I'm letting it grow a little bit to kind of reset. And I do like this length. So anyway, we'll see. It's an ongoing, monthly decision on what I'm going to do. So, all right, let's get into stuff. The first thing is happenings this week. The kids went back to school finally from their Christmas break. If you'll remember, they have 3 full weeks off. So Monday was Martin Luther King Jr. Day here in the States, and so they went back on Tuesday. And it's been nice to just be back in a rhythm of things. It means that we're more busy, but it means that we know when things are happening and we can count on that going on. So anyway, I'm trying to think if there was anything more that had to do with that. Not really. Just getting back in the swing of things, and getting homework and getting back to a bedtime routine and all that. The only other thing I had written down for this week was something that happened at work last night that was kind of funny. On Thursday nights, I've been back in the drive-thru for, 2 or 3 months, for quite a while, probably about 3 months. But they had me up front last night, working, the registers and whatnot when people came in. And there was a group of ladies that came in, no big deal, groups of ladies come in all the time. Well, I noticed a little while later that they were all knitting, and since I didn't have any customers, of course I went over to talk to them. So I just went over and sat down in one of the chairs, and they all kind of turned and looked at me, and I was like, I'm a knitter and I saw yarn, and they just all started laughing and kind of made some comments, and I said, I have a retreat that I host that you guys should all come to. And one of them, she turns and looks at my name tag, and she points at one of the other ladies, and she says, we're already signed up. I was like, what? What's your name? And she told me. I was like, we've been emailing. And she says, I know. So anyway, it was really cool. And I talked to one of the other ladies that I think has I don't know, each time I move, my computer's acting up. That's really weird. Hopefully that it isn't too messed up on your end. When I moved, it started to delay. That was weird. Anyway, one of the other ladies who was like, I have so much going on. By the time they left a couple hours later, she was like, hey, save up some of those tips so you can help offset my cost to go, because now we're going to save up for me to go. So anyway, I have found that meeting people in person makes such a huge difference. And I don't think it's because like I'm fantastic or anything. I think it's because they have a real person face and voice and, you know, to go with that thing. It makes it more real. So anyway, it was really funny, and I popped out to talk to him a couple more times. And then we got kind of busy and I wasn't able to, but anyway, it was fun. There was something else that I forgot to mention that happened earlier in the week a few days ago. Long story short, I fell. I took my tablet back from that child over there, and she was not happy, and it was the end of the day, and she was quite tired, and went into the kitchen where I was, and I put my tablet down and went to sit back down in my chair, and she, right at the same time I went to sit down, she like grabbed it and made it tip over, which is really out of character for her. She just isn't like that. So anyway, I proceeded to sit down onto a chair that was not there, but it was barely behind me. And so when I fell, the legs were, you know, facing forward. So I ran into them and hit my back right at the base of my ribs and then landed. So my under and back arms have been nice and bruised and tender. My back was bruised. Like the next day when I went to get my hair cut, just leaning back against the chair was torture. Absolute torture. So, yeah, Jake kind of took care of her because I was so angry and hurt at the same time that, yeah, I couldn't have been level-headed with dealing with her. And she was very sorry. She felt so bad. I think it scared her. So anyway, luckily I already had an appointment set up for the chiropractor for Wednesday. It was an Onzi's old appointment, and then I was like, I'll just keep it because my neck was kind of bugging me anyways a little bit. And I knew after I landed that hard and hit my back that everything was nice and jammed up again. Luckily, it didn't really bother me for Monday and Tuesday going into it. But when I went in, I asked him about my neck, and he says, yeah, it looks like you were in a major accident. Great, that's what I like to hear. So I have an appointment in 2 weeks to go back. It's not one thing, it's another. Like, my foot is feeling better. We all went for a walk Sunday evening at Wilson Pond. If you've watched this for any length of time, you know that that's one of my favorite places to go. I was trying to think if that was from last week that I talked to you about that, but I don't think it was. Anyway, we fed the ducks and did all that, and it's a mile loop, and my foot didn't hurt when I walked it. And so I was like, yes, things are progressing, I'm healing. Like, it still irritates me. It's not healed, but it's healing. And yeah. Anyway, so I'll go back in a couple weeks, and hopefully it's okay. I need to just wrap myself in bubble wrap and call it good. Anyway. All right. I only had 2 things listed. Now all of a sudden I'm talking about all these other things that I had forgotten about. So there you go. Let's move on to some knitting. I don't have a ton to show you. I have one main project that I've been working on, and then a secondary project that I've cast on like 3 different times, and now I'm done casting it on, and it is what it is. But I'll show you the item that you saw last week already, and that is my Fiber-Nymph Dye Works Gunmetal colorway sock. And I am actually done with this sock up to the cuff. I did just Fish Lips Kiss Heel, and it did make it so 2 of the dark blue stripes were together. I don't really care. I actually kind of like that it's right there on the ankle, that it's going to be like that. No one's going to notice. I don't care. If I'm trying to make them exactly the same, then I do an afterthought heel and whatever. I just grabbed the yarn and cast on, and I don't care. I'm okay with it. So anyway, everywhere I go that I'm working on this, people comment on how much they love the colors, and I do too. They're beautiful. And I actually worked on it. So almost 2 years ago now, I won an elected position here. I'm a precinct committeeman, and we have a meeting on Tuesday night, and I was kind of discreetly working on my sock a little bit under the table and whatnot. And the lieutenant governor was there talking and answering questions because he's actually running for governor this year. And I asked him a question, and he was answering it, and it was kind of a long answer, and I was like, I'm working on a sock while the lieutenant governor is talking to me directly. Is that disrespectful? Like, but I didn't stop. I just kind of still did it under the table. But anyway, I got a kick out of it. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing there. I did the body of the sock on my size 1 circular needle, and I have a size 0 circular. I think it's in a project bag somewhere because I can't seem to locate it. So I just grabbed my size 0 double points. Yeah, that's about it on that. I will start the next one as soon as that one's done. Oh, for something this week, I worked in my room for a long time the other day, and got like one whole wall completely organized, including kind of my yarn area, but then the corner over there. Oh, it's going to be my sewing area eventually, but for now it's a clean corner. Not that it was dirty, but there was just stuff. Like I said before, my room was the catch-all, and I'm bound and determined to make it into a wonderful place to be. So anyway, that was very nice to have, and I organized all of my project bags, and a few of them have future projects in it, like a skein of sock yarn or something, but some of them have languishing whips, and those are the ones I'm going to work my way through. And I think what I'm going to do is have one new and one old item on the needles, and right now they're both new, but you'll understand why when I show you my next project. But yeah, I'm going to do one old, one new, and finish those up. So anyway, the next project I'm making is something super fancy and complicated. It is a pair of slippers for me, using the pattern that I showed you last week that I made Eli's, that I used for Eli's, the one that when I learned how to knit, my grandma showed me how to do. Garter stitch with a purl ridge that is the side of your feet. And I actually had, I'm making these for my retreat. I had a different pattern that I was going to do, and I've looked at patterns and I've looked at stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I need to just make some. I'm just going to do the ones I know. And I know they're comfortable, and this yarn is so soft. It's from Knit Picks. It's their Mighty Stitch. It's an 80-20 acrylic wool blend. It is really soft. And I'm just holding it doubled, and yeah, I'm using size 7s, and I have the spruce colorway that is a blue-green, and then the silver. And yeah, I think to kind of make them a little, to kind of dress them up, make them a little, I don't know, I don't want to say fancier because that's not the right, but anyway, I think what I am going to do is, I'll show you on this one since it's done. So this ankle hole, I think what I'm going to do is pick up the stitches. I feel like I have a hair right here, but I felt like that for the last like 20 minutes, and there's nothing there. Anyway, pick up the stitches, and then also pick up some, or not pick up, but cast on a few extra, and then just knit back and forth in garter stitch, and then close it and put, I'm going to put buttons on it, but tack it down. I'm not going to have it open and close. My computer caught again. My video skipped again. My computer's been doing this weird skipping thing anyway, and Jake can't figure out what's going on. Anyway, So, yeah, I think I might do that to make it more of a boot type look. And I have plenty of yarn to do that. So anyway, and if I don't like it, I could do the one and, you know, not like bind off, but not necessarily cut the yarn, and then, you know, tack it down and see if I like it, see if it fits. If I don't like it, meh. If I do, great. It's not going to be that much more work. So anyway, stay tuned. We'll see what I decide. Yeah, I told you about needles, yarn. Yep, we're good. That's all I have currently on the needles. And I have been spinning like crazy this week. I am bound and determined to finish this fleece. I actually have been spinning so much that I finished the second bobbin here, and have started the third one. I didn't bring my wheel over, but it looks pretty much the same. This is a Jacob fleece that I processed a few years ago. I brought up one of my bats so I could show you what it looked like. It's this what it looks like. It's this beautiful chocolate brown, and the gray, there was just kind of a big clump of it, and so I carded in the gray with it so it gives it kind of that heathered look. I'm really enjoying spinning it. I can't wait to have it done so I can, you know, see what kind of yardage I have. Yeah, I'm hoping I have enough that I can make like a vest out of it. I really hope, because it is not next to skin soft. I would not like make a scarf or anything out of it. So yeah, I'm hoping I have enough that I can make a vest. If not, I'll figure something out. Maybe add something to it. You know, I have I have some. My foot's hurting. Hold on. Brown alpaca that's close to that same brown that I could maybe spin to do some edgings out of or something. I know it's not the same fiber. Anyway, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm distracted by my foot for a second. It doesn't usually hurt like that. Okay. Sorry. Let's move on. That's really all I had to say about it. Oh, no, nobody's here. It was just the next door neighbor. It was Jeff closing his door.
No, is somebody here?
That was cute. She's like, somebody's here. Spinning. When I was cleaning the other day, so I have 3 different drop spindles that have things on them. And so I put them on my bed, and as I was cleaning, I pulled one out and did 5 times to the floor, which means go to the floor, roll it up, go 5 times. And I think what I'm going to do is the basket that those are in, I'm going to put that on my desk so it's in my sight. And each day just do 5 of each to the floor. And while it won't make fast progress, it will be progress in general. So anyway, I'm going to talk about spinning a little bit more in a little bit. That's kind of an extra things at the end, so I'm going to leave that for now. I do have a designing section that actually is /acquisitions with this one, because the yarn came for the first shawl in my new series that I'm doing that I'm so excited about. It just came last night. Are you ready? Here it is. Isn't that beautiful? It's from Leading Men Fiber Arts, and it's their Sour Apple colorway. It's soliloquy base, 650 yards, 100% superwash BFL. So I'm trying to not let the light reflect on it so much. So this is not usually a color that I would buy. It's definitely not one that I wear for a reason. My computer skipped again. I want to bash it with a hammer. I'm not going to lie. I'm really tempted to back everything up and just completely wipe it, which I hate doing, but I might have to do. Sorry. I know it keeps coming up. It just keeps freezing on me. I hope when this processes it does okay, but anyway, yeah, this this colorway is so beautiful in person, and I'm still gonna keep it a little bit of a secret what I'm doing, that the theme is gonna be, but I am going to start winding that today, and I work tonight, so I don't know that I'll get it started knitting and whatnot, but and when they're mini skeins, I love to hand wind them, so I think what I'm going to do is just enjoy hand winding it and start tomorrow. So anyway, stay tuned. Next Friday you will see some progress on it. Let's see, what is next? As far as acquisitions go, I finished my part 1 of the French lessons that I bought. If you're interested in learning a language and you have well, even if you don't have an Audible membership, go on to Audible and look up Collins. This one's Collins French with Paul something. Anyway, he has other languages as well. It's conversational. It's not learning this dumb rote memorization of the colors and the numbers and the alphabet and random things. It's how to put sentences together, and oh my gosh, it's so much fun, and I'm learning so much. And I've listened through part 1 twice completely and was waiting to get paid on Tuesday, and then I bought part 2, and I'm just having so much fun learning, and it was really cheap. I didn't use my Audible credit for it because it was under $5. My first one was $3. This one was $4.47 or something like that. So definitely worth the cost. So anyway, I got that, and then we got a gift sent to us all the way from France from Homa's mom, and it is a cut maker from his mom and dad. Okay, he does have another dad, huh? Okay. So she sent us a crepe maker. In America, we say crepe. But it's a griddle, essentially, with 6 wells that you put batter into, and there you go. We have a converter for a plug because it's a French plug, and we are working on getting a little bit more of a permanent fix on that, and Jake's been doing some research and whatnot, but anyways, it's lime green on the bottom, and it's super cool. So yeah, that was really exciting. I do have a little bit of sewing to talk about. I haven't actually sewn per se, but I've started a sewing project. I have the back of some pants cut out for Eli. The top looks really tall, but it's because I just left the top of the fabric. I just went whoop. And so yeah, I need to cut it at about here, and so I'll cut it here, and then it'll go lower about there once I put the elastic in. Anyways, this is the back panel of some pants that I'm making for him. It's some polar fleece, not polar, blizzard fleece. I think that's kind of the same thing. He doesn't like jeans, and he wanted just some pants. So I started these for him, and I'm actually using a pair of his current pants to trace off of. It is not my favorite way. Okay. I don't love doing it this way because you have to like pull on the current pair of pants, but it works, and I'm going to trace this onto some paper, and if they work really well, then I'll have a pattern to just, trace from, and if not, then I can... Okay, but then if I don't, I can still just tweak it on that traced on pattern, and then can adjust it. Like beautiful skin. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, that's... Oh, I have these sitting right here. These could go under acquisitions too, but they have to do with sewing, so I just kept it in the sewing thing. I love to make bags and things with zippers in them, and have just been making do with my regular presser foot, and decided I would grab a zipper foot. Woo! So now I have a zipper foot, nice and fancy, and it's adjustable, which is awesome. So I can, move it back and forth. And you know how nice it is when you go to the store and spend less than you were anticipating? That was the case with this. It was $7. And I thought it was going to be more than that because my walking foot, which I know has mechanical moving things in it, was a lot more. So I thought this was going to be closer to like 15. I don't buy sewing stuff very often, so I have no concept of what the cost is going to be. Anyway, $7. And so I used some of my Christmas money for that, and Kyan and I walked around. It's this cute little sewing machine shop. It's where I got my machine from. And they have some quilting cotton, and but just all sorts of different accessories and things like that. And it was so much fun. And I found this 14-in-1 measuring guide. It says a double-sided gauge, 14 functional measurements. And here it is. And it was $2.79. I probably could have found it at Joann's with a 50% off coupon. I didn't care. It was less than $3. So anyways, I didn't even know they made these. And there have been so many times that I'm like, I just need to check this little thing, but I didn't have anything small, and so I'd have to pull out like my bigger measuring things, or like I have a gauge swatch, thing for knitting that has all the needle hole sizes, which is small, but this is awesome, and it's smaller, and I can just kind of stick it in and check my measurements. And anyway, I love it, and I'm so excited about it. So yeah, anyway, I just think it's cool. It says every measurement you ever wanted from 1/8 inches to 2 inches. So yeah, anyway, there's that. Lastly, when I said I was going to talk about my spinning again, what I wanted to tell you is something that I have come up with kind of this last week. Sunday afternoon, it kind of popped into my head, and while I haven't been able to do everything, I'll talk about it here, and then I'll tell you what it is, and then I'll talk about it. I have a set of 15s that I'm doing each day, or my goal is to do them each day. 15 minutes of spinning, 15 minutes of sewing, and 15 minutes on my ukulele that I'm learning how to play. Did I tell you guys about that after Christmas that I got one? I think I did. How we ended up getting one for free, an extra one. Anyway, so I want... Yay, Magic School Bus! So I want to do a minimum of 15 minutes on those each day, because I wasn't doing any, and I'm like, I need to work on these. And so I have a reminder that goes off at 10 o'clock in the morning, which I haven't done it at 10 any of the days that I've had that reminder, but it puts it in the back of my mind. So even if I can't do it right then, it still is in the back of my mind. And so yesterday, like on Wednesday night, I'm wanting to say, I was getting caught up on the last 3 episodes of NCIS, and so I spun the whole time during all 3 of those. So that was a lot of spinning time. And that was the same day that I cut out Eli's pants. And it took more than 15 minutes to lay it out, and especially because I don't have chalk. And so I put straight pins as the line that I was cutting. Anyway, just cutting that out took 15 minutes, but those pieces are ready. And yesterday I spun for 15 minutes. Like, I set a timer for just a little bit over 15 because I had to like sit down and get everything set up. And then I spun, and Quinn was like, Mommy, can you? And I was like, hold on, let me just finish this timer. When the timer goes off, I'll do it. And I was spinning fast, like my feet were just, because I was like, all right, 15 minutes. And so I probably got like half an hour worth of spinning done in that 15 minutes. So I did that, and I practiced my ukulele, and that actually was probably like half an hour. No, that was longer. That was probably like 40 minutes that I did my ukulele. But it was right in the time when the kids had gotten home and they were eating their snacks and stuff, and so I wasn't really needed. So it was fine, and I can do that. Just, I have my room just off the kitchen right there, so I could see what they were doing, and I could hear them, and they could hear me. And anyway, so but I didn't do any sewing. So oh my gosh, I want to bash it with a hammer. Anyway, I haven't done all 3 in a day, but I've done 2 out of the 3 each of the days. There is a 4th component that I want to add to that is my back porch. We have some amazing plans for that, and I want to take care of 10 things off of the back porch each day. The only thing that's preventing me from starting that is that the shed has stuff in it that needs to be pulled out, so I can start putting that stuff in the shed to start getting it set up. So I haven't incorporated that yet. I really want to. What I might do while I'm waiting for Jake to be able to do that, because he's in his work week now, and it's not going to get done, right now. What I could do is just set the timer for 10 minutes or 15 minutes and just do another 15 thing and go out and sweep and just kind of clean up, out there, because leaves just get stuck right in there. And so anyways, I could still do some time out there. It's been really nice outside. That's the only reason why in the middle of January I could be out there. But even if it was cold, 10 minutes under a covered patio with a coat on is bearable, unless it's super cold, but we haven't had that this year. It's really weird. So anyways, stay tuned. I will keep you updated. I'm really enjoying having that minimum goal that is so doable. I'm really, really liking that. So maybe that will inspire you to incorporate, doing 15 minutes of something each day. Obviously, if you have 10 things that you're doing 15 minutes of, unless you had, 150 minutes to do it. I know not all of you do, but if there are a couple of things that you're wanting to work on, try to stick those in and just set that timer and make it part of your day. And it's really amazing what happens when you make it a priority. So anyway, preaching done. But anyway, I have kids that are going to be getting out of school in a few minutes and coming home. We got paid today, so I need to jump online and pay the bills and go to the bank and stuff before I go to work. So I'm going to wrap up. I hope you have a wonderful week. Unless something crazy happens, I will plan to be here again next Friday. And until next time, keep knitting. Bye.